Hallo, ich bin's, der Videospieler. Wir spielen weiter AGON, das Lost Sword of Toledo. Wir haben jetzt das Brettspiel von Arriaga wieder zurückgekommen und wir gehen jetzt zu Francisco und sprechen
Good to
mit
see you
ihm.
like this, Francisco.
Professor, my dear savior, thank you so much for what you did for me. Carmen told me everything.
Everything? Miss Diaz-Palencia is far from knowing everything.
What do you mean, Mr. Hunt?
Do you know that this unlucky Arriaga, by stealing or having stolen that beautiful ornamental sword, helped you and your beloved immensely?
How could that have helped? Excuse me, I was sent to prison for that evil scoundrel.
That is, of course, true, my young friend. But he really stirred some things up, and so some interesting details from the past came to the surface. For example, the one-time partnership between your father, the painter, and Mr. Alonso, the strange bet that your father lost and seemed to ruin your chance for marriage.
Unfortunately, it is ruined. I am beginning to resign myself to this.
Don't, Francisco. While sorting out events of the past, I managed to find Miss Diaz-Palencia's mother's priceless medallion, which accounts for half of the value of the Diaz-Palencia house. And there is the sword for the other half.
The sword? The sword will be returned to its lawful owner, Alonso Garcia de la Rica, and I will have nothing to do with it any longer.
Yes, that sword. But this sword?
Professor Hunt, what does all this mean? How did you get it?
Calm down, my friend. The police must already have confiscated the stolen sword. This one here is another one. Or to be more precise, this is the original sword.
The original?
Yes. Your father was a truly exceptional man. When Mr. Alonso forced him to hand over his most cherished possession, he worked for nights to make a copy of this precious weapon. When he was ready, the copy was exhibited in the palace, not the original.
A perfect copy. I mean, I knew the original, and I had believed to this day that that was what I saw hanging in the palace.
Indeed. However, your father was much too honest to make a perfect copy. He couldn't bring himself to engrave the initials of the famous blade master Juan Candelas upon the noble steel. But for years no one had noticed that instead of the initials JC, the embellished initials CC could be seen on the blade.
You're a genius, Professor Hunt.
No, hardly, young man. I was simply an observant outsider who saw the story and objects from a different angle. The legend lives among you. Everyday life makes events correspond to traditions. When someone comes and has a look at your lives, he will unavoidably notice the oddities that you repeatedly overlook. That's all. But what's most important now is that we have the original sword, which no one can take away from you. This is the second half of the value of the house. All obstacles have been removed. Miss Diaz-Palencia has been freed from Mr. Diaz-Palencia's promise, and no one can stop you from getting married.
How true, Professor. The angel sent you to us, or you're an angel yourself. How could I possibly repay you for all you've done?
Well, it's simple. Please start educating me in the rules of Albuquerque, because I have already wasted a lot of time in this picturesque city.
And you'll break another curse with that, won't you?
Yes, yes. Although I have a feeling that all of these steps will only increase the burden of my curse.
I don't quite understand you.
It doesn't really matter, Francisco. Can we start then?
Of course. Come, I'll explain the rules.
Albuquerque. The board is illustrated above with the pieces laid out for the start of the game. One player has 12 white pieces and other player has 12 black pieces. Each player in his turn moves one of the pieces from his current location to another point. The piece may move along one of the marked lines and adjacent unoccupied point. Other Alternative, if an adjacent point along one of the one marked lines is occupied by an opponent's piece, but the point beyond that is vacant, the player may capture his opponent's piece by jumping over it to the unoccupied point. If after the jump is completed, another one of the opponent's pieces is now en prise, that piece may be also captured even if the second jump is along a different line to the first. See figure 1 below. Thus, 2 or more pieces can be captured in a move, but the same piece must be used to make all the captures. If a player is able to capture an opponent's piece during his move, he must do so. If there is more than one way a player can capture, he may choose whichever option he prefers. A piece may not move onto a point it has occupied before. To win, player must capture all of his opponent's pieces. Okay. So, wer fängt an? Offensichtlich. Kann ich irgendwie verhindern, dass ich gecaptured werde? Nee, eigentlich nicht. Wenn ich anfange, kann immer einer drüber hüpfen. So, jetzt muss ich so...
Your thinking betrays a sharp mind, Professor.
Ah, das habe ich nicht gesehen. Verdammt.
Calm down, no need to be hasty.
Ach so, zurückgehen darf ich nicht.
Pay attention. Albuquerque is a more difficult task than it first seems.
So, jetzt muss ich den nehmen. Ah. Damn.
Yes.
Also, ich muss den nehmen. Ach nee, da ist keine Linie. Ach gut, das habe ich ja überhaupt nicht erkannt.
Your logic is right, sir, but try to take into account mine.
Ah, verdammt. Oje. So, jetzt kann ich nur noch. Da kann ich nicht hin und dann
No,
bin ich
no,
weg.
that's not the right direction. Please don't be sad. Instead, make another attempt.
Fängt ja schon gemein an, dass ich anfangen muss. Ach, verdammt. Warum kann ich da nicht hin? Ach, ich muss den schlagen, richtig.
I see your intention, but...
So. Immerhin mal 2 mitgenommen. Ach, verdammt. Ärgerlich.
I don't think I could have found a better solution.
Oh. Nein. Ich Depp. Ah. Nein. Doof. Tschüss.
Please don't be sad. Instead, make another attempt.
Kann man auch leichter spielen. Ich will nicht anfangen, ich verliere dann sofort immer ein...
That's it. Exactly. And now it's worth watching.
Ah, blöd. So. Ich muss das machen. Ach, habe ich nicht gesehen. Oh. Habe ich nicht gesehen, dass der mich schlagen kann.
Ah, what a surprise.
Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich verhindere das.
You've had better thoughts, Professor.
Schande. Dann Hälfte darüber. Und schon wieder verloren.
Please don't be sad. Instead, make another attempt.
Skill level too easy. Das war
You
der.
better practice this a little more, if I may. Excellent. You are learning very fast, Professor.
Das ist genau der Scheiß, den ich vorher schon gemacht habe. Ich mache genau die gleichen Fehler wie vorhin. Warte, der muss weg. Oh, verdammt. Nein, habe ich nicht gesehen.
I'm surprised to see you play so well, Professor.
Kann ich den jetzt nicht... Ach, ich muss den
That's a
nennen.
good idea. Very good idea.
Muss ich... Jetzt muss ich den nehmen und jetzt nimmt er mir den. Jetzt muss ich da hoch, weil ich nicht zurück kann.
Don't worry about it.
Ja.
Let us get on with another game.
Okay, warum geht das nicht? Oh, verdammt. Oh. Also der muss ich, ja nee, muss ich nicht, weil... Oh. Egal. Ich reagiere nur. Zu sehr in der Mitte des Bretts unterwegs. Ah, verdammt, das habe ich nie bedacht. Okay.
Just wait.
Ein Versuch noch. Und sonst skippe
Please
ich
don't be
das.
sad. Instead, make another attempt.
Ich kann ja skippen, aber mir ist es gerade so anstrengend.
Look, you're a dangerous opponent.
Ah. Ganz klasse. Egal wo ich jetzt hinfahre, ich verliere jetzt auf jeden Fall einen, oder? Und wie mache ich das Beste draus? Ach, ich muss den machen. Geil. Den Gegner hier mitten in meinen Reihen. Ich kann mich nicht dagegen wehren. Das ist doch toll, oder? Ah, schlecht, schlecht, schlecht. Immerhin. War mir gar nicht aufgefallen, ich Depp. Und weg damit. Habe ich jetzt heute keinen Nerv für.
Please don't be sad. Instead, make another attempt. Professor, you have won. Game over.
Ich habe
I
betrogen.
feel light as the wind. I have been freed from prison, from the chains of poverty, and what's more, from a century-old curse, the curse of AGON, which my family had to suffer, has been broken. I will be grateful to you forever, Professor. Please visit us when you're next in Spain. You will always have a home here. And now, let me hand you the stone. Though I have never understood its use, it is important. Good luck. Farewell, Professor.
Well, this was how it happened, my dear. Young Candelas promised to keep me informed of their fate. I have no doubt we will receive news of a marriage from Toledo soon. After only 2 days of preparation, I'm setting off again. According to the granite plate from Francisco, my present destination is rather distant. An extraordinary culture. This strange assignment is calling me to the center of the Middle Kingdom, Peking, to get one
Peking.
step closer to the secret of the AGON.
The Tale of the Four Dragons. Tja, schön wär's, ist leider nie erschienen. The Tale of the Four Dragons. Ja, ich muss sagen, ich bin echt überrascht. Der vierte Teil, der war jetzt doch um einiges länger und meiner Ansicht auch besser designt als die Vorgänger. So ein paar Kleinigkeiten haben mich noch gestört, dass ich einfach, dass der mir jetzt die Plattendesigns von also die Details unter den Hausnummern mir nicht in mein Tagebuch übertragen hat. Genau die, weil die sich zu merken, die dann mit hin und her zu laufen, dass man dann das Richtige hat. Nee, finde ich jetzt nicht so brillant gemacht. Vor allem, wenn man schon so eine Tagebuchfunktion hat. Aber ansonsten mag ich mich nicht beschweren. Und das war AGON, The Lost Sword of Toledo, das letzte bisher und wahrscheinlich auch jemals erschienene AGON-Spiel. Ich bin froh, dass ich es endlich mal gespielt habe. Ich habe es schon lange auf der Platte. Ich freue mich. Tschüss, bis zum nächsten Mal. Euer Videospieler.
Und damit sind wir am Ende dieses Videos angelangt. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, ich habe noch jede Menge mehr Videos in meinem Kanal. Schaut rein, abonniert, unterstützt mich finanziell auf Patreon, würde mich freuen. Tschüss und vielen Dank.